On a post-NBA first-night draft where the Philadelphia 76ers, as kind of expected, take VJ Edgecombe, the guard out of Baylor, over the projected number 3 guy, Ace Bailey, who went 2 picks later. And the justification is that they're super excited to get VJ Edgecombe, who is a dynamic, energy-filled, high-flying player. And the NBA has those type of players all over the place. You need guys like that. I get it. I wouldn't have taken him there. Yeah, I would have taken him there. If Ace Bailey has the bigger ceiling, I would have sat there and taken Ace Bailey. And I didn't care that he didn't work out for me at all or whether he didn't want to be here. Once you get him in an NBA system, once he gets an NBA check, he's here. He'll play. The league is... it's important to be a guard in this league, but it's ultra important to be a wing player. And Ace Bailey's a wing player. And so that's if I was going to stay at 3, and I said yesterday I would trade back. But if I was going to stay at 3, I would have taken Ace Bailey over VJ Edgecombe. That's not the major consensus for a lot of people, including my producer, Ray Dunn, who is here with today. He was all about VJ Edgecombe. So, Ray, good morning, and I guess you're happy about this selection.
Good morning. Yes, I am. It's a good morning to be here. Glad that they got VJ Edgecombe last night. I think we've gone over a couple of times. You mentioned just what you're getting in him and the athleticism, the ability you're going to get on the defensive end. He gives you an intriguing backcourt. And I'm excited to see the way they shuffle those pieces together. For the people that wanted Ace Bailey, just watch the smile that he had when he got drafted by Utah.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, listen, once you get him in the system, he's going to have another smile. Like
he might have a smile there because he's going to get 20 shots a night there. He's not getting 20 shots a night here.
That's fine, but this whole thing's been overrated that he doesn't want to play with the Sixers. Once you get an NBA uniform on, you're going to play. You're going to try to show what you got. So I look at that as irrelevant. Not that I'm a monster Ace Bailey fan. I'm just saying if I'm at 3, what I need more is a wing than a guard. The Sixers right now, I just counted it. They have 9 guards. Now, a lot of them are going to be filtered out, but here's what they have. Maxey, McCain, Grimes, Eric Gordon's coming back for some reason. Kyle Lowry wants to play one more year. Jared Butler, Ricky Council, Jalen Hood, Shafino, and VJ Edgecombe is added to that. That's 9 guards. How many wing players do they have? Well, they have Oubre, they have Paul George, they have Justin Edwards. They're trying to move Paul George. I don't know. It seemed to me that they needed a wing player more than they needed another guard. But there are a lot of people that like this kid and they like the dynamic of this kid. Like I say, I fear he's a little bit of Ricky Council, where he can high fly, he can occasionally shoot it, but he's so wild that he'll hurt you until he learns to play NBA basketball, which is, to me, a couple years down the road. So, we can talk about that. We're going to have some comments from Daryl Morey from VJ Edgecombe from last night, from the commentators who brought us the draft last night. Not a lot of surprises in that, except for the kid from China being taken, and he wasn't supposed to be a first-round pick at all. I'll tell you the pick I really liked, and I think the Nets got really good value in this. The kid Igor Demon from BYU, a 6'9" point guard. I love players who are unusual. And if you get a 6'9" point guard, remember the days when we were lauding the fact that the Sixers had a 6'9" point guard? Well, this kid's a 6'9" point guard, and I watched him a lot last year, and they took him at 8, and he was projected to go in the teens. The Nets looked at him and said 8. So that's the one surprise that I looked at in the top 10. But let's hear from Daryl Morey right out of the chute here about him being super excited about VJ. This would be Daryl Morey 1, Ray. Let's hit it.
Super excited about VJ, what he can bring to the team. Brings a dynamic athlete, potential all-star, two-way player. Really helped his team. He's got all these winning qualities that we think really fit. Great teammate. His story and what he's done to get to this point is really unbelievable. And we think he's on a great trajectory to take where he's come from and continue to improve through Baylor all the way through a very long and very promising NBA career. And we're excited it's here at the 76ers.
Well, there you go. Now, most encouraging Daryl revealed that they went through a pretty detailed process. After all, they have about 74 assistant general managers in their system. So they went through a very detailed process, and here's what he had to say about that.
I hate to invoke the word, but I mean, we have a pretty detailed process here. And, I think it starts at the high school level and all the pre-work in the years prior to their coming into college, with national teams, with everything. And that process continued through this year. No, I mean, I think we were seriously considering, pretty much, early in the process, it was about 6 and that was down to 4. And then we were deliberating up until the last few days, down to who we would pick. And as we dug in, we felt like VJ was by far the best choice there.
They had him at 6 at first? But the detailed process whittled him down to 3. Do you trust the detailed process? They had a pretty detailed process. That's the first time I really heard that. Apparently they didn't use that last year, the detailed process. So
To get Jared McCain? This is the draft we're talking about.
Okay. All right. Jared McCain's he's an all right player.
Yeah, for where they got him in that
right
draft.
player. Yeah,
I mean, it's not like last year's draft was full of a bunch of superstars. They were able to get someone that actually extracted value.
A lot of the Sixers today. I like it.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about a detailed process of the offseason, I got a lot of problems with the fact that we're talking about Eric Gordon not as someone that's a member of the organization's front office mentoring a player, but instead as a teammate. I could get on board with ripping them for the old guys on the roster and for the way they go about free agency, but we're talking about the detailed process of the draft. You want to point to last year? That's one of the only bright sides you got out of last year.
All right, that's fair. Let me go one more with Daryl, where he talks about Daryl Morey 9, talking about VJ Edgecombe's work ethic, and then we'll get VJ to talk about his own work ethic. So here's Daryl.
Above and beyond what you can see on the floor, the thing we spend a lot of time on, and I will say it's very hard to forecast with 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. We don't think we have some crystal ball, but where we can get more confidence that a player has 2 things, which is they understand that they're not where they need to be. They understand they're not yet, pick your all-star guard in the league. And then they have the work ethic to close that gap. If a player has that's very interesting to us generally. And yes, we've been fortunate that you can get a guy with talent already playing at a high level at Baylor and then also has not only a hopeful work ethic, but when you can see if you track back to the Bahamas and you track back through his pre-Baylor period all the way through. I think we're excited about that.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't exactly light it up at Baylor. He was solid at Baylor. He didn't exactly light it up. I don't know how many games he had over 20 points. But he was one of the most highly recruited high school players to come out of high school that year, along with Cooper and a couple other guys. VJ was always talked about as the next coming. So they got a player who has a pretty good rep. Now, here's what he had to say. VJ Edgecombe had to say about. Of course, he's from the Bahamas. He's from Bimini, and Bimini was a notorious political fallout for somebody, if I remember. There was a boat in Bimini. This is the Gary Hart scandal. It was something like that. But I digress. So let's hear VJ Edgecombe talking about his character, VJ Edgecombe 1.
It means a lot. He's something that can also help with on the court things, and that's with my character. I don't think, if I was a bad person, I doubt they would have picked me. Or if my character wasn't likable, or I don't think they would have picked me. So it shows a lot about who they are as people. That they care more about the game than basketball. They care more about basketball. They care more about how you as a person also, things that can translate off the court. They say it's a city of brotherly love, man. So I don't think they want anyone here that don't show love or anything like that.
Oh, I like that. I like what he had to say about that. Also, the Phillies were shut out again. So I thought I'd throw that in because we'll talk about that as well. They left 7 more on base, and they had a just hide your eyes 8th inning with the bases loaded, 1 out, and didn't score. And they get shut out again.
This is very bad.
Yeah, I'll tell you, they waste 2 good pitching performances and get shut out against the Houston Astros in the first 2 games. We will talk about all of it. 610-632-0975. Did the Sixers make the right move by selecting VJ Edgecombe over Ace Bailey? Your opinions. And the governor's opinion. Governor Josh Shapiro will join the show a little bit later. It's the Mike Missanelli Show back after this.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Appreciate you guys checking out things with the Mike Missanelli Show. If you want more from us, check out the playlist right here to get this one. Check out all the playlists. There's a lot to watch.